Carthage, 146 BC. The light of dawn spreads over the Mediterranean and strikes the docks of a city that for centuries dominated trade, navigation, and politics in the ancient West. In front of us, there are no ruins, no smoke, no war yet. What we see is a living, organized, and powerful metropolis. In this video, I use modern visual reconstruction tools to restore volume, depth, and movement to Carthage as it existed just before disappearing. We will walk through its ports, pass through its residential neighborhoods, and understand how a city that Rome decided to erase from the map functioned. What is silence today, at that moment, is constant activity. Before its fall, Carthage was order, wealth, and strategy. From a distance, the city rises in terraces that gently ascend from the sea toward Byrsa Hill. The outer walls outline the urban perimeter with geometric precision, protecting not only homes, but also warehouses, workshops, and administrative buildings. The military port and the commercial port form the city's economic heart, connecting Africa with Sicily, Iberia, and beyond. This is not an improvised settlement. It is a maritime capital designed to control routes, fleets, and goods. Everything in Carthage follows a logic of efficiency, and as the city awakens, nothing seems to foreshadow that this will be one of its last full days as an independent power. The commercial port of Carthage is not just a simple pier open to the sea. It is a protected structure carefully planned to manage a constant flow of merchant ships. Dozens of boats loaded with grain, oil, metals, and textiles dock at stone platforms where stevedores unload goods without pause. From here, routes depart that connect North Africa with the Iberian Peninsula and the Italian coasts. The port not only moves goods, it moves information, alliances, and power. Its semicircular design allows for a clear organization of space, separating unloading, storage, and redistribution areas toward the urban interior. The streets that emerge from the port lead directly to large warehouses built with thick walls and high ceilings to preserve products sensitive to heat. The flow is calculated to avoid congestion. Animal-drawn carts follow defined paths, and officials oversee taxes and records. Carthage does not rely solely on war to sustain its influence. It depends on organized trade. Here, the Mediterranean is not a border, it is a highway. Every vessel that enters reinforces the city's position as a central hub of exchange between continents. Separated from the commercial port, the military Cothon represents the strategic core of Carthage. This circular basin, protected by a narrow entrance, houses the war fleet, organized in radial docks that converge on a central island. From above, the design looks almost mathematical, and this port is the tangible proof of that priority. It is not improvisation, it is engineering in the service of power. On the central island is the command building, from where operations are coordinated and the maintenance of the ships is overseen. Carpenters and artisans work on constant repairs, ensuring that the hulls are ready for any threat. Although Rome is advancing on land, at this moment, the port still operates with discipline. The structure conveys a sense of absolute order. Every element of the design reinforces the idea that Carthage was conceived as a maritime city, prepared to project power beyond its walls. Beyond the bustling port, the land walls surround the city with an extension of several kilometers. Built with solid blocks and reinforced with towers at regular intervals, these defenses not only define the urban space, but also symbolize independence. The main gates control access and connect with roads that extend into the African interior. In the year 146 BC, these walls still stand firm, projecting the image of a secure and prepared city. Inside, residential neighborhoods are organized on gentle slopes that offer views of the sea. The houses vary in size, some with internal courtyards and water storage systems. The streets are laid out with practical intention, facilitating circulation and drainage. Carthage is not a medieval maze. It is a city planned with commercial and defensive sense. Each tower in the wall serves as a lookout point, reminding us that prosperity has always required constant protection. Ascending towards the Byrsa hill, the urban landscape takes on a more institutional character. Here, administrative buildings and temples are concentrated, reflecting the political structure of the city. From this height, one can visually dominate the port and the walls, reinforcing the idea of centralized control. Byrsa is not just an elevated geographical point, it is the symbolic core of Carthage. Decisions affecting trade, defense, and diplomacy are made in this area. The temples show architecture that combines Phoenician tradition with Mediterranean influences. Columns, courtyards, and altars create open spaces where public rituals consolidate collective identity. Religion and politics are not separate, they are integrated into daily functioning. From Byrsa, the city seems stable, self-sufficient, and connected to the sea. However, beyond the horizon, the Roman army is approaching, preparing the final siege that will change this landscape forever. In the densest neighborhoods, life moves at a steady pace. Artisans work with metals and textiles in workshops that occupy the ground floors of homes. Children cross narrow streets that lead to small squares where local products are exchanged. Water is stored in cisterns, carefully designed to withstand long summers. Carthage has learned to adapt to the climate and maximize resources. The city functions like a coordinated organism. The markets offer grain, oil, and fish brought from the port. The diversity of goods reflects wide connections with other Mediterranean cultures. The imminent collapse is not yet felt. The urban structure continues to operate normally. This everyday life is precisely what makes the subsequent destruction more significant. The city we see is not an isolated fortress. It is a complete society with commerce, religion, and family life in balance. While Carthage maintains its routine, the Roman siege tightens. The legions have advanced slowly, cutting off supplies and pressuring external defenses. From the walls, well-organized enemy camps can be seen, disciplined as usual. Tension rises, but the city still holds. The port remains active, albeit with restrictions. The military Cothon remains ready, but the strategic margin diminishes every day. Roman logistical superiority is beginning to be felt. The walls withstand initial attacks, but the prolonged siege erodes internal resources. Carthage faces not only a military confrontation, but a war of attrition. What had been a symbol of stability begins to show signs of vulnerability. The city that once dominated Mediterranean trade now relies on its internal resilience to survive. In the outcome, Rome manages to breach the defenses, and the city is systematically set on fire. Administrative buildings, homes, and ports are destroyed. The Byrsa hill, which overlooked the sea with authority, becomes the stage for the final battle. What had been a maritime power for centuries is reduced to rubble. However, beneath the layers of soil and later reconstructions, the urban layout remains partially preserved. Today, the archaeological site allows walking over fragments of that ancient structure. But what we have explored in this video is the complete Carthage before its erasure, an organized, maritime, and strategic city that defined the balance of the Western Mediterranean. If there's another lost city you'd like to see reconstructed with this same approach, leave it in the comments. we will continue exploring these final days of ancient great powers, bringing life back to places that time tried to silence.